Hello, this is Adam with DreamMade Productions. This video is made possible by the very kind donations of viewers like you. Thank you. If you are in a position to help this channel improve quality and grow, please visit my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below.
Yo, Joe! We'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there.
For decades, the South American rainforest nation of Sierra Gordo had been a war zone. The country was fought over by various factions over the years. In the 1980s, its left-wing military and unofficial government held power, but only tentatively. The largest armed group and strongest contender to the failed state's government were the rebels. These rebels had seen many victories within the country. While they claimed complete independence and competence, infusions of cash, weapons, equipment, and training greatly aided them. Everyone knew who truly ruled the rebels of Sierra Gordo. Opposing them were communist groups similarly backed by the Soviet Union. These poorly armed but determined guerrillas were popular with the people. Not to be outdone, a freedom group also struggled to gain power, backed by the U.S. government. Add into the chaos various smaller groups also struggled for control, including a small but savage group backed by organized crime and an up-and-coming narcotics dealer. Normally content to fight by proxy, the major powers were not immune to being pulled into the country directly. In 1985, a United States-backed peace delegation had attempted to negotiate a ceasefire between the major factions. This peace delegation, led by Dr. Adele Burkhardt, was attacked and seized. The situation was tense, with U.S. citizens' lives at risk. The U.S. deployed their most elite unit, Special Counter-Terrorist Unit Delta, to rescue the hostages. Unit Delta was made up of hand-picked individuals combined from all branches of the U.S. military, reporting directly to the Secretary of Defense and the President of the United States. Unofficially, but later even officially known as G.I. Joe. The G.I. Joe succeeded in rescuing Dr. Burkhardt, but not even they could bring peace to Sierra Gordo. In 1986, U.S. intelligence intercepted a coded transmission, a desperate call for assistance from the Cobra-backed rebels. Almost simultaneously, virtually all communications, official or otherwise, all but ceased with the country. Cobra moved quickly to back their allies. A large force of Cobra's best troops left their new island headquarters 24 hours later, with most of the Cobra command staff among them. Something had shocked the serpent out of its lair. An SR-71 Blackbird was dispatched to gain more intel on the situation, but contact was also lost. Concerned over what Cobra could value so much, but unwilling to openly invade the country, the U.S. President once again called up G.I. Joe to deal with the situation. An elite ground team left the pit bound for Sierra Gordo by airlift. Meanwhile, the USS Flag battle group was repositioned to the southern Gulf of Mexico. As the G.I. Joe force approached, communications became spotty. Then, without warning, the C-170 and its Skystriker escorts lost all power. All attempts to stabilize the situation failed. Everything electronic just died. The G.I. Joes were forced to eject and make their airborne jumps, watching their advanced equipment crash into the jungle. Landing more or less together, the team looked up at the darkened sky and knew at once what was happening. Not long ago, the Pyramid of Darkness had nearly won Cobra the world. Now it had apparently been recreated. Within the pyramid's effect, electronics of all kinds were useless. Only the most basic of mechanical devices would function. Reluctantly, the G.I. Joe team built a makeshift headquarters camp determined to stop Cobra's latest plan, whatever it may be. What the Joes did not know was that Cobra had nothing to do with this new pyramid. We're in a very similar situation and we're camped just across Twin Rivers Valley. The next morning, the two forces would encounter each other, and despite the primitive conditions, a battle would commence between America's daring, highly trained Special Missions Force and the ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world. Turn 1. Destro leads his Cobra Blue team forward to their side of the Twin Rivers. Ripper moves to the center while Cobra Commander holds his guard back. Spirit, Flint, and Dusty take cover in the thick jungle underbrush. Commando, Duke, and Footloose wade into the water, moving on the Cobra forces. Turn 2. Dusty, Flint, and Spirit move forward, but towards Cobra's center. Commando moves along the river with Gun Ho backing him up. Duke finishes his crossing. Footloose races ahead, taking cover in the bushes. Lady J moves to back up Duke, wading the river. Destro orders the Televiper to scout, the Cobra Trooper moving into the stream. Cobra Commander orders his center protected. Tomax and Zaymot move to reinforce the Dreadnought Ripper, while Cobra Commander, his Crimson Guard officer, and the Baroness move to block Footloose. Turn 3. Alpine and Quick Kick move forward while Shipwreck swings to cover their left. Spirit, Flint, and Dusty wade into the water. Gun Ho and Recondo take up positions in cover. Duke moves forward, backed up by Lady J. Bazooka moves up while Footloose holds position. Destro moves into the water while the Televiper continues scouting ahead. Tomax moves forward to join his twin brother Zaymot. Turn 4. Storm Shadow moves through the jungle, advancing on the Joes, backed up by the Televiper and Zartan. The Cobra Eel moves into the river, while Firefly reaches the cover of the other side. The Crimson Guard moves up to support his twin commanders. Ripper swings right, now alone in the center. The G.I. Joes hold position. Turn 5. Firefly moves through the undergrowth. Ripper moves towards the G.I. Joe base. Cobra Commander leads an attack.
Cobra! Attack!
The Crimson forces move forward to the river while the Baroness is slowed by the underbrush. Dusty moves to cut off Ripper while Flint and Spirit move to attack the Televiper scout. The lone Cobra is no match for the experts, and he surrenders almost without a fight. Duke senses a chance and moves in on Cobra Commander, followed by Footloose. Cobra Commander fires his pistol, injuring Footloose, but buying time for Duke to move in close. Cobra Commander is no match for Duke's hand-to-hand fighting skill.
Release me!
Turn 6. Storm Shadow leaps at Quick Kick,
The ninja is a weapon.
throwing a spread of ninja stars. The former stuntman avoids the deadly blades, but plays right into the ninja's hands. Storm Shadow's kick hammers the Joe down, knocking him out. Cobra Commander's plan works. Overextended, the Cobras move in. Baroness and her Crimson Guard attack Duke, while the Crimson Twins rush Recondo. Already tired from the melee with Cobra Commander, Duke is no match for the Baroness's ambush. The Crimson Twins use their gymnastic skills to avoid Recondo's fire surrounding him. He tries to fight back, but they pummel him into submission. Flint and Spirit move against Zartan. The Dreadnought leader tries to use his chameleon ability to hide in the underbrush, his almost magical ability making him all but invisible, except to Spirit's tracking skill. The two Joes seize the mercenary. Trying to escape the trap, Gun-Ho moves toward the Cobra base, trying to force the Cobras to follow him. Lady J falls back, trying to link up with Bazooka. Turn 7. Destro falls back.
Premature panic is the sign of an immature mind.
Storm Shadow moves in to attack Alpine, while Firefly tries to sneak up on Dusty. Alpine, afraid of the ninja, tries to use his climbing pick and ropes as weapons. Storm Shadow advances. He is an Asakage clan ninja, trained from birth to deal with such peasant weapons. The distraction was just what Alpine wanted. He managed to pull his pistol and shoot the ninja, injuring him. Ripper charges Dusty while the Crimson Guard moves, chasing Gun-Ho. Dusty cannot get a clear shot at the biker in the thick jungle. Ripper manages to move in, and the battle breaks down into melee combat. Dusty's military training proving superior to Ripper's barroom brawling, until Ripper manages to lock his hydraulic jaws onto the Desert Trooper, bringing him down. Turn 8. Destro and Firefly advance. The Crimson Twins press the center, while their Crimson Guard attacks Gun-Ho. The Baroness moves to the center, leaving the Cobra left open. Gun-Ho fires his shotgun at the Crimson Guard, but this is no typical guard. A member of the Fred series, the guardsman dives under the water, making Gun-Ho's combat shotgun useless. Emerging, the two fight in the muck. The Fred series Crimson Guard not so much winning, but more surviving the Marines' wrath. Flint and Spirit fall back, meeting up with Shipwreck. Alpine moves to attack Firefly, playing right into his hands. The Cobra springs his trap, mechanically detonating the hidden explosives. Alpine just manages to escape death, but not capture. The center unprotected, Bazooka and Lady J move to block the advancing Cobras. Turn 9. Shipwreck races ahead, afraid of what could have happened to Alpine. Flint and Spirit fall back. Firefly rushes, trying to set up more explosives, annoyed by a bird squawking. His heart sinks as he feels a jab in his back, and the telltale sounds of a flintlock pistol going to full cock.
So long, snakes, it's been giggles.
Bazooka moves along the river to attack Zaymot. Lady J yelling to him as she tries to follow. Bazooka, unable to make out what Lady J is saying, lines up his shot, squeezing the trigger. Nothing happens. The Pyramid of Darkness disabling the missile launcher system. Zaymot counterattacks, bringing down the confused Joe. Destro moves forward. Ripper moves to attack Shipwreck, while Zaymot continues down the river, engaging Lady J, the Baroness not far behind. Believing the sailor's ancient weapon no match for him, the ganger is shocked when the lead ball crashes into him, dropping him on the riverbed, bleeding heavily. Lady J throws her javelins at the approaching Zaymot, but hears as an acrobat and juggler, he snatches them out of the air. Without her advanced warheads, they are just pointy sticks, and she is no match for the Crimson Guard commander. Turn 10. Flint and Shipwreck move, trying to protect their base. Destro and the Cobra Eel move up.
Until the moment of surrender, I shall not count G.I. Joe out.
Zaymot moves, trying to break into the G.I. Joe base to destroy it, but needs more time. Turn 11. Destro and the Cobra Eel attack Spirit. The eel distracts the tracker, while a massive headbutt from Destro's metal face sends the Joe down. Tomax and the Baroness charge Shipwreck, the Crimson Guard climbing out of the river. Shipwreck is no match for the Cobras. He falls, but Polly manages to escape into the jungle. Zaymot manages to plant his explosives and light the primitive fuse. The explosion destroys the G.I. Joe's field headquarters and their vital supplies. Flint flees into the jungle, avoiding the Cobras with the aid of Polly, determined to return and save his teammates. Aftermath. The sudden appearance of a pyramid of darkness in Sierra Gordo was a surprise to almost everyone. The war-torn country was thrown even more into chaos than it already was. Both the Cobra organization and the United States government sent forces to Sierra Gordo, both falling victim to the pyramid's effects. Having more time to prepare, the Cobra forces managed to defeat the G.I. Joe team, capturing many of them. However, this victory would be short-lived. The Cobra forces soon found the source of the pyramid. Members of the Soviet October Guard were in Sierra Gordo, using their communist allies to test the Soviet version of the technology. The October Guard managed to defend the cube sites as well as the mountain base used to establish the pyramid. Additional Cobra, G.I. Joe, and Soviet forces were dispatched. The captured Joes being rescued in a daring night raid by Snake Eyes, Scarlet, Stalker, and the surviving Flint. In the end, the situation resolved itself. The Soviets simply did not have the technological expertise of Cobra or Mars. The cubes overloaded and exploded, bringing down the pyramid. After a few more brief skirmishes, the sides withdrew, their reason for being there seemingly gone. The Soviets soon realized what Cobra and the West nations had. The technology was just unworkable. Disrupting all electrical and even some chemical power was a devastating weapon, but crippled the user's forces as well. The localized Pyramid of Darkness deployed in Sierra Gordo was no different, requiring precision placement and either a space-based platform or relatively high-altitude base made deploying the device infeasible. The technology was archived and soon forgotten. The battle between freedom and terrorist-backed tyranny would continue for decades to come.
He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe.
As a longtime fan of G.I. Joe, I thank you for putting up with this little tangent of mine. As a kid of the 80s, G.I. Joe has and always will have a special place for me. I would like to thank HCC 788 for allowing me to be part of this year's Cobra Convergence 6. Hoodie Coco is reviewing every G.I. Joe toy from the Real American Hero vintage line from 1982 to 1994, along with some extras. Seeing some of my old toys, ones I wanted and some I never even knew about, has really taken me down memory lane. Thank you for everything you do, HCC. Keep the reviews coming. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the Storm Eagle. I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come, and to borrow a line, remember, only G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe.
Hello, this is Adam with Dream Made Productions. Thank you for watching my content. It really means a lot that you have given me the chance to entertain you. If you would like to support the channel, please visit my Patreon at patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below. Also below is a link for PayPal, or links if you would like to send crypto, if that's more your thing. Please know any amount that you give will be cherished and used to upgrade equipment and improve the channel. You can also help the channel by subscribing, turning on notifications, liking, commenting, and sharing my channel with anyone you think might be interested. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come.